Oh, they made it so clicking on this works now. Woohoo. Okay, so there were some changes made to mixology. And I will say, I think the changes were actually intended to combat the meta. So the meta, which I was not doing because I did not care enough, is to make like all the different potions and then do a bunch of hand-ins. But now, if you hand in multiple at once, you actually get a pretty significant boost to your points. So if I make all 3 of these, I get plus 40% to all points for all 3 of these. And so if I, for example, a lip black liqueur only gives 20, but if I get the plus 40% boost from making all 3, the lip black liqueur alone is actually worth 28, and then the megalite liquid is worth it has 2 lies, so instead of 20 it's worth 28 as well. So I end up with more lie than I originally did if I turn in all the potions at once. So you basically, if you make the potions on demand, but you have all of them, you get a pretty good bonus. This also means that if you have a mix-a-lot, it's really good to make all 3 at the same time. Because the mix-a-lot points will be buffed. So starting with 320, 390, 720. But the points for the way that I was doing it, which was just make potions, should be like way higher. And it means that unless you have like triple bad potions, like if you have Mystic Mana Amalgam and like double Alco Augmentator, you can still just hand in 1 to kind of like skip it. But in general, it's pretty good to make all 3 now. It's some Marley's. This is a crystallized Marley's Moonlight that I just have in the bank. And I made Mammoth Might mixes sometimes anyways, but now it's like actually pretty good to make them. Like I genuinely want to see what this is like now. This is a digweed mix-a-lot. So 42 Mox, 56 Lie. Before, that would have been 30 Mox and 50 Lie? No, 40 Lie. Yeah, so it would have been... Or it would have been 30, 0, 40 before. And now I'm getting 42, 0, 56. That is a huge increase. At the cost of sometimes needing to make potions that I probably don't need. But with the overall points being much more balanced than they used to. This also, oh, by the way, it means Lip Black Liqueur is now good again. Technically, you are wasting resources if you make Lip Black Liqueurs, but you're also wasting resources if you don't make all 3 because you get less of a bonus. So I would probably actually make them now, unless I don't plan on making all 3 potions. Yeah, so... Oh, I think I only handed in 2 there because I screwed this one up. Concentrated. So, like, that's gonna happen. But we have a Digweed Mix-a-Lot and a Mammoth Might Mix. 84 live from that turn-in because there was the Liplac Liqueur and a plus and a Digweed Mix-a-Lot with a plus 40%. Just like, keep that in mind. It's very powerful. So here, and then like it just changes the whole scheme of things, because now like because I have 2 Liplac Liqueurs, I might as well just make them. But if I'm gonna make the LLLs, then I'm gonna make the AAA as well. And from a casual standpoint, it's much easier to make all 3 potions at once than to run back and forth making potions. So this is a concentrated Aqualux Amalgam, so that will be the 3rd one. So always make all 3 when you have a Digweed Mix-a-Lot. There are some consequences to making all 3. You'll get like Mix-a-Lots less often because you're spending more time fulfilling orders instead of refreshing orders. But plus 40%. Like 112 mocks. That's insane. So this set is pretty bad, for example. So like I could just Azure Aura Mix and just kind of skip it, but it's like a personal preference. But if there's any lie that doesn't look like the core, it's probably like good enough for me to make all 3. Mega Light Liquid, and we have Alcohol Augmentator. One downside of doing this is I'll probably have an excess of A, since I'm not, like, filtering the potions as much. But it's fine. I'll put it another way. One way to look at it is making the Alco Augmentator gives me more lie point because it gives me the boost. Is it quite as much? No, but it's still pretty good, and it's good points per herb. I need a Marley's Moonlight, so I can just, like, get rid of this one. Azure Aura Mix, Mix-a-Lot, and MLL. So the goal is to use up this Marley's Moonlight. And I've already started cooking the wrong one. So it's a cooked Azure Aura Mix that I don't need. Want to turn in all three for the digweed though. Okay, Marley's Moonlight, but the wrong kind. Good change, Jagex. Bigger numbers, more happy chemicals. Marley's Moonlight cooked. This is crystallized, right? Yeah, it's Azure that's cooked. Homogenized. Have to get this frickin' Azure Aura mix fixed too. Oh, this is cooked. Yeah, this is cooked Azure Aura mix, so we have that. Might as well make the Alco Augmentator too. Okay, this one's pretty bad. So I might just make the double mammoth mite mix. It's just mammoth mite mix, so 20% is fine. No one cares about Terramins. This collar like goes really low. I think the shirt has been stretched a bit. This one's even worse. Okay, we got the Marley's Moonlight in here. Crystallized. Thanks, Alfonso. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna like, because I haven't done mixology since I unlocked the amulet. I'm not gonna like get all the way to potion storage, probably. I don't know how. I mean, it probably still takes like 2 hours. Unless I just feel like being here the whole time. The other thing that got buffed was like Huey. Huey got buffed a lot though. And then the agility course, the advanced one, got buffed a bit. So you get a little more XP, like 10% more. And you get a bit more termites. So that grind is even faster. I didn't wait for it to get buffed, I just hadn't done it yet. So, works for me. Oh, they also announced the league's date. They announced that they're changing it back to 8 weeks, which is huge. That's just more time to gather points. Deadman being only 2 weeks actually kind of made it hard to get points. I didn't even finish the stuff that I kind of wanted to do. I didn't even make it to the final combat bracket. And I played it basically every hour I could. Except for like, there were probably 1 or 2 days I didn't play a ton. So that could have been the difference. But of like, my basic plan of just get points that don't involve much grinding was, yeah, I know I'm not the fastest player, but the fact that I like didn't finish that was pretty something. Despite having ridiculous donations and getting spooned on drops for tons of money. And then the finale was just a crap show anyways. You know, for the competitive aspect, I mean, there's 2 competitive aspects. Some people did compete for points. And the 2 weeks probably helped for that, but for the people that just wanted the cosmetics, and Leagues isn't like an inherently competitive game mode, though there are people that can be competitive if they want to be. And although I am generally actually a fan of Leagues being over the holidays, having it be shorter over the holidays is actually bad. Because a lot of people have other things to do. When it's 8 weeks, you can genuinely just take 2 weeks off and it's fine. You do want to try to play at the start. You know, that's just a classic Jagex move. I was like half expecting that. The UK, they don't celebrate that holiday. It does mean that there will probably be less people on release playing. And I think they've just been willing to accept that in the past. This order is kind of bad. We'll just do it anyways. Oh yeah, how many bans we tossing out on week 1 for bug abuse? That whole situation was a little ridiculous. So what you actually want to do, if you're not like going for rank 1 or first to dragon or whatever, is you want to play slightly behind everyone that's at the top. Because that way, the people at the top can determine whether the relics suck, if there's any bugs that you want to avoid, if there's any rollbacks that are going to happen, etc. I think if I make all 3 potions every time, I'm gonna end up with a lot of banked digweed mix-a-lot. So my tentative plan is to go Varlamore, Mauritania, and a third area. This does depend on course of like what the echoes are and maybe a little bit of what the relics are gonna be. But that's my very tentative plan. It'll be very different from what I've done in the past. I usually will never pick Mori because I think it sucks. I still think it's kind of bad. Mori is not as bad if he's... So, and then the tentative plan would be to focus on melee. I'm pretty much for sure picking at least one of the raid regions, since the mega rares will drop from all 3. I really don't give a crap about the armor. Like, when I play leagues, I don't care about Missouri, to be quite honest. I think, like, for a temp game mode, the impact is not super significant. As long as you have something that's good enough, you're fine. I did care a little bit about Virtus for the Shadow, but that's because of how the Shadow works.